Everybody, Town Board comes back from executive session at 7 p.m. Welcome everybody to the Town Board meeting who wasn't here when we started. Tonight we have multiple public hearings, but the first thing we have on our agenda is a proclamation for the Hamburg Yacht Club. People aren't familiar with the Hamburg Yacht Club. It was originally originated in 1869 as an ice boat club down in the Hamburg. It's considered the sixth oldest yacht club in the United States. The original clubhouse stood one story on stilts with the ice boats stored underneath the yacht club. The yacht club was incorporated on December 20th, 1869 by local millionaires, river captains, village residents, as in the Hamburg Ice Yacht Club. The dues at the time back then were $3 for active members. You can imagine that. Those who own yachts could afford it, and then $2 for non-active members, and those who did not. It was said to be the pioneer of ice yacht clubs in the area. Many local wealthy businessmen were part of that at the time. Summer boating wasn't included in these activities till many years after that. Irving Grinnell was the first Commodore and the leading spirit of the original club. He was a local millionaire who owned the riverfront estate with a boathouse that was a short distance south of the Third Point. For some years, the Grinnell Boathouse was used as the yacht club's headquarters. The Grinnell estate and the adjoining estate of Temple Bowdoin, and an early member is known as Bowdoin Park of Dutchess County now. During the 1880s, the club had many fast ice yachts. Mr. Grinnell owned 6 and several expert boatsmen. Most of the boats of the period were built by Jacob Buthout of Poughkeepsie, most of the boat owners being either wealthy sportsmen or owners of sailing yachts on which they earned a living when the river was open. During the winter, ice boating and the eternal games of dominoes were the chief interest of these river captains down there. It was their meeting place. In 1881, the Hamburg Yacht Club had 14 members active and 9 inactive members. The Zephyr was one of the first ice boats to be built in the Hamburg. John Lawson helped to construct many of these boats. Another of the first ice boats that sailed for the club was the Foot, owned by Captain Van Orden Carpenter. By experiment, Carpenter learned that the Foot would make better time if he hung heavy stone from the bowsprit. Even back then, they had some very ingenious ways about going about. Interest in the club began to slip again, and the club was reorganized in 1938. Just before a lot of the men headed off into the service, additional land and water rights were acquired by Beatrice Jennings of New Hamburg. During World War II, the river was practically closed to small crafts. Once again, the club became inactive, and the property began to slide downhill. Windows were broken, and the flagpole came down. The bathhouses became so run down, they were torn down. Soon after they returned from the service, Henry Scarterfield and Frederick Croak, who are still names in the Hamburg today, asked permission to use the clubhouse for a commercial enterprise. They made all the necessary repairs, paid the taxes, kept the building shipshape, and returned it to the club whenever they wanted it. During a year or so they used it, the property improved. When the club was again reorganized in 1948, Henry Scarterfield was elected Commodore, and Frederick Croak was Vice Commodore. Croak was a grandson of Will Losi, the last secretary of the original club. The original officers elected in March 1948 were Warren Stevenson, Secretary-Treasurer, Claude Van Nostrand as historian. Donald Croak, Measurer, John Wood, Alexander Hamilton, and John House were elected as trustees. All these names were names that, to this day, a lot of their family members still live in that area. Seven men who were given honorary life membership in recognition of their work for the club through these years were Frank Drake, Will Losi, William Workman, Claude Van Nostrand, Arthur Van Nostrand, Preston Leroy, all of New Hamburg, and Dr. Ralph Haight of Fishkill. From the 50s to the present day, the club has had an annual celebration like the July 4th Regatta, which they just had one last week down there. In the 50s, there were outboard races on Memorial Day weekend and sunfish sailboat races during the 60s. In more recent time, club functions are held throughout the summer with food, music, and refreshments. Some of the more interesting and significant events that occurred from the 50s through the 70s timeframe were during a hurricane in 1950, an empty fuel oil storage tank that's south of the club floated loose and brushed the wall on its journey up the river with the tide and was brought back and stands to this day. The New Hamburg Yacht Club Centennial Celebration was held in 1969, which time the club had 82 members. In 1978, the club brought the property and house adjacent to the club from Arnie and Joan Cohen. This property, commonly referred as the rental property, allowed for increased parking and yard space. It also increased the frontage on the river and currently provides the club with rental income and additional storage facilities. Another improvement to the club was the 1979 rebuilding of the interior stairwell leading to the second floor. In 1985 was a significant one for the Hamburg Yacht Club. Indoor plumbing was finally installed. It was also during this time the dock system began to evolve, growing to the current 85 slips that exist today. Some of the changes have taken place during the 80s and 90s were new windows, new bathrooms, electric service to the docks increased from 100 to 200 amps during that time frame. Water and electric were added to the dock system. The dock system was enlarged in 1989. Major renovations include modernization and renovation of the kitchen, siding, roof, porch, and so on were done between 90 and 91. Today's dockage facilities can accommodate approximately 87 boats. Many social activities take place on a continual basis throughout the year, including holiday parties, family day, dances, dinners, cookouts. There's much more history about the club available. If you ever have a chance to go down to a club, they serve dinners on Thursday and Friday nights. Take the advantage and experience the club. The club has definitely been, over the years, a benefit to New Hamburg, to the town of Poughkeepsie. You know, they've always reached out. They always make it a purpose to reach out to the community every year, to hold a party for New Hamburg, to thank them for being good neighbors and working with them on different things. They've had a golf tournament for many years that they donate the funds for that, I think, to Meals on Wheels, amongst, supporting many other groups throughout New Hamburg over the years. And a lot of founding fathers of New Hamburg, as I said, the family members, if you still go through New Hamburg, some of those names are still existent. And tonight, we have the current Commodore, Kathy Rutledge, who I think is the first female Commodore they have, and she's done a phenomenal job. They just had their 150th celebration. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. They did a phenomenal job. They invited the neighborhood. They had almost 300 people down there to celebrate their 150th anniversary. So we just wanted to invite you up, Kathy, so we can give you a little thank you for the town for all you've done and what the Yacht Club has done over the years.
Okay, you want to grab a picture?
Let's show the award.
Whereas this year 2019, the Hamburg Yacht Club will celebrate the 150th anniversary, is considered the sixth oldest yacht club in the United States. On December 20th, 1869, the Hamburg Yacht Club was originally incorporated by local millionaires, river captain, and village residents of the Ice Boat, an ice boat club. Whereas in 1911, the club was reincorporated as the Hamburg Yacht Club. In 1913, it had 22 active members, 127 non-active members, and 3 honorary members. Whereas between 1902 and 1920, the members became more and more interested in summer boating, first in small sailboats, then in launches, and gradually became more and more center village activity in the summer. There was a second floor building was added in 1924, making a 2-story building, then renovated in 2002 with serves as a club meeting room. With the original second story serving the club's bar, known as Pop's Office, that been a long-time legendary member, and the popular meeting place during boating season for members and friends. Now therefore, Tom Bailey, Town Supervisor, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie, hereby proclaim 2019 as the 150th anniversary of the Hamburg Yacht Club. Given them in my hand, in the free United States of Town of Poughkeepsie on this day, 2019, to which I cause the seal of Town of Poughkeepsie to be affixed and made this proclamation public. Now, tonight we have multiple public hearings. The first public hearing will be 1 Dutchess Avenue. The second public hearing will be a towing law. Third public hearing will be for 44 Marple Road traffic sign, stop sign. The next public hearing, or next group of public hearings, are property maintenance, 1 for 34 Gentry Bend, 238 Innis Avenue, 1 Diane Court, 147 Fulton Street. The eighth public Public hearing will be 2285, 2291, South Road zoning change, Neems Way for Dutchess Dodge. That's it for the public hearings. After the public hearings, we'll go over all the items on the agenda, because we have a rather large agenda on top of that. I'd like to make a motion to open public hearing 1 for 1 Dutchess Avenue.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
1 Dutchess Avenue. Does anybody have anything to discuss on 1 Dutchess Avenue? No? If not, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn public hearing number 1 to September 18th.
So
So
moved.
moved?
All those in favor?
Aye.
See you back here on September 18th. I'd like to open public hearing number 2 on the towing law.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody here to discuss the towing law?
I do.
You can discuss it. It's not what you're, wow, you want to come up and discuss the towing law? You can come up.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Hello.
Hi. My name is Antonia Acevedo, and my concerns is with McDonald's parking lot. My daughter had parked her vehicle in there, and she actually utilized the store next door to get a pack of cigarettes and then come back, and she was going to go to McDonald's, but within 2 minutes, they entrapped her and booted my car out. My car's been impounded since July 17th, and it's over $2,000 of fines that Bobby Towing is not giving me my car. However, I did touch base with Mr. Baisley, and I did touch base with Mr. Wong, the store franchiser, and I did touch base with the mayor of the city of Poughkeepsie. But nothing has gone nowhere with it yet. I'm still in the middle of boycotting McDonald's. I've been out there for about a week now, trying to get people. I do get a lot of response. However, the window on the car, a random person came by and tried to break the barnacle off the window, which Bobby's charging me $900 for the window, for the barnacle to be, he's charging me $900 for the barnacle, $275 to remove the barnacle, $85 for the tow, and $50 per day that my vehicle sits there. I asked, and Mr. Wong had agreed to show me the video recording of the incident so I can at least try to identify the person, so I can press charges on him to find out who the person was that did this. They're telling me the recordings are corrupted. Town police had came to my house also and said that they have no pictures of anybody and everything is corrupted. At this point, I feel like if we all live in the town of Poughkeepsie or city, one side of McDonald's is city of Poughkeepsie, the other side is town of Poughkeepsie towards the store. Mr. Wong, however, said that he does not want nobody to step foot off the property because he considers the store next door is bad business because there's drugs over there and he does not want drugs to get over to his property. And I says, you can't racial profile everybody that just goes into the store to get something to eat. Because I'm a vegan, I would order Chinese and probably go next door and get something for my kids to eat because they like McDonald's. Whichever order it went in, it wasn't acceptable. So now I'm stuck without a vehicle and I don't know what to do at this part except try to fight and to try to get my vehicle back. And he's not returning it back to me whatsoever.
Right, Tony, as I stated to you before, we don't have a law in place like the city for a time limit or anything. We are working on a law. I've talked to a couple of council people already about putting a law in place, but it's not going to help you where you are now. I thought discussing it with McDonald's the other day would have a better outcome, but it didn't have a better outcome.
No, it didn't, because he made a promise, and Mr. Wong did not come through with his promise, at least to send me a video. And he said after he heard the recording I had on Bobby saying that McDonald's was the one who called him to have my vehicle removed out of the property that was only there for 3 to 4 minutes the most, nobody would show me a video. So now I'm stuck without a vehicle. Nobody's given me, all I want is a video to see how long my daughter was there for. And actually, I do have video recordings of the guy who sits up in the back of McDonald's and does entrapment. I actually saved 5 people today from being entrapped by the guy. I just feel it's not fair. If the stores are around to utilize, it's not like you're going to a doctor's appointment and you're leaving a car there for an hour. I understand at that point you are overstepping your privileges. But if you're just going there for 2 minutes, not even, everybody in the town is going to be penalized for something like this. Like, a lot of people don't know that McDonald's is half city and half town. and there's a cutoff. And Mr. Wong's upset currently because the city, on his side, he doesn't feel the 20-minute grace period is fair enough for him because he's losing business. And that's all I got to say.
Right.
I'm just trying my hardest to try to do what I need to do, and thank you for listening to me, and I appreciate coming up here to express my feelings.
Thanks, Antonio.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to discuss the towing law?
Hi, I'm Larry Cohen, own Roots Towing, Poughkeepsie. Been on the town list for as long as anybody here, probably longer, since the 60s or 70s. I towed the town police cars for almost all those years. I have 2 flatbeds. I don't have a wrecker at the present time. I have a problem with that wrecker requirement. In the last 10 years, they've needed a wrecker twice. And each time, there was another tower on the scene that assisted and got the problem taken care of in short order without causing the town any problem. So for me to spend 20 or 30,000 on a used wrecker, if you can even find one, and another 5,000 a year to insure it, for something I'm going to use once every 5 years, that's a hardship for me. I wish there was a way around it. That's all I can say on that.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Anybody else? If not, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this public hearing until September 18th.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I'd like to open public hearing number 3, 44 Marple Road traffic signal stop sign.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody like to discuss the Marple Road traffic signal stop sign? Sir?
Hi, I'm Heinz Fenkel. I'm a professor and a 19-year resident. I live about, I think, 3 houses from the intersection. And I noticed the traffic study is currently being done per the last town meeting. And I would like to reiterate what I said last time, which is if the study is being done, to continue it into mid-September so that you have a realistic reading of the traffic patterns once the school year begins, because the traffic will be significantly different once BOCES is in session and the school buses go through there, and also when Dutchess is in session, because a lot of the traffic for Dutchess Community College goes through that area. And also I think the Central Hudson did a lot of trimming of the trees, so the visibility is much better on North Grand. And I just request that you keep monitoring the bushes so that the stop signs are visible.
Okay.
The warning signs for the stop signs actually make a very significant difference. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this public hearing until September 18th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next public hearing is property maintenance for 34 Gentry Bend.
Was that last one off to the 18th as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Pardon.
Make a motion to open a public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
34 Gentry Bend for property maintenance. Anybody discuss the property maintenance 34? No? If not, I make a motion to close that public hearing.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So,
We'll get there,
Make sure I got the right one.
Number
All
4.
right. Number 4. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie pursuant to a public hearing held on August 7th, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rock Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, under Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Code, entitled Property Maintenance, does hereby determine that the property located at 34 Gentry Bend, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, bearing grid number 6260-01-270745, owned by Adona E. and Florence R. Matthews, is in violation of Town Code Chapter 159, Property Maintenance 159-5A, and be it further resolved that the legal notice of public hearing was posted on July 11, 2019, published in Poughkeepsie Journal on July 22, 2019, and mailed to owner by certified mail return receipt requested on July 16, 2019. And be it further resolved that the said determination is based on the presentation and report submitted at the public hearing by the Town of Poughkeepsie Zone Administrator. And be it further resolved that the said owner, 34 Gentry Bend, has not complied with the order to remedy. And be it further resolved, the town shall, by its highway department or a town contractor, cause the removal of all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, and shall cut and continue to cut the grass to a height not to exceed 6 inches, and continue maintenance thereafter if the premise continues not to be properly maintained, the cost of which shall be added to the property tax bill pursuant to Town Code 159-13. So move.
Second.
Good motion, second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Number 5, property maintenance, 238 Innis Avenue. Make a motion to open that public hearing.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does anybody discuss 238 Innis Avenue?
Yes, good evening. Todd Lamont, Council Davidson Fink, 28 East Main Street, Suite 1700, Rochester, New York, for the Bank of America, which is has the interest in the property located at 238 Innis Avenue in Poughkeepsie. This is a code violation. I believe it's on for determination similar to the last matter that was on, to have the town and/or its contractors remove the debris and maintain cutting grass. I think that was the extent. My information updated is that from the client is that the debris and weeds were removed back in April 9th of this year to be exact, and monthly grass cuts are occurring. The last one was completed as recent as July 24th.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
It's been raining quite heavily. Grass grows very quickly, and it needs to be cut on a more every 10-day cycle at least.
Yeah, this is just my information, sir.
Okay.
And
I
the
hear
next-
you, but, you know,
The next one is scheduled.
okay.
Was scheduled
Once a
for-
month won't cut it.
Okay, well.
No pun intended.
Today was the next cut, so that's not really a month. It's not, the client wasn't waiting till the end of this month. So before you intervened, that's the extent of my information. So it's not once a month. And I understand, believe me, I understand the town's interest in
Because
these
if the
types
grass
of
is high,
matters.
people dump illegal things on that property as well. And you're spending a lot of money cleaning it up when it's cheaper to have somebody just cut the grass every 2 weeks.
Understood. This is just my information that I'm conveying to the board so that you can make a determination. It is being addressed, it has been addressed, and unless there's evidence to the contrary, I ask that it continue to, unless it poses another problem that comes up, that we'd be allowed to take care of it. As I understand it, it has been.
Are you going to
and it's
be handling the case if we do that? So we
Yes,
can call, if there's a problem, we can call you directly and you'll make the right contacts to get it cut?
Yes, I am of counsel to Davidson Fink, which is the principal,
Okay.
and yes, sir.
Could you
Well,
leave-
I'll provide, again.
Could you leave me your card before you leave?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Anybody else? No? We can make a motion to close this public hearing?
So moved.
This is a question. Should we just adjourn it?
No. My recommendation would be to pass it, because if it's not cut, we'll still have the authority to cut it. But we'll discuss with Mary, the deputy zoning administrator, in the morning to go out and watch it, and we'll get the information from this gentleman.
Oh, okay,
He needs to
fine.
make contact that she can reach out and contact. Now we have a physical contact.
But if we don't actually physically cut it, there's no charges made.
Right,
So even if we pass it now, there's no effect as long as you keep it maintained.
yeah.
Not quite following
If you
that.
fail to
There's no
maintain
charge?
it, if you fail to maintain it, we'll maintain it, but we'll at least give you a courtesy call first, to give you an opportunity to fix it.
Yeah, if we pass this today, being we've gone through this long process to get to this point, it would take us another month and a half to 2 months to bring this back by the time it grew. So we usually pass them, so we have the authority to do it. But now we have your contact information. Prior to us cutting, it'll be a courtesy call to say, hey, this has happened. Are you going to cut it, or we're going to come out and cut it? You
So
know,
by passing
it
it
gives us the right to do it, but doesn't mean we're going to do it. We will give you the, you know.
with a courtesy
Yeah,
notification?
correct, yeah. Now we have a contact, which 90% of the time we don't have a contact, so.
Yes.
Hopefully, you know, if you could pass your contact on the town clerk over there, we'll get it, we'll make sure the zoning administrator downstairs gets the contact information.
Okay, so purposes of my report to my principal, then, I'm stating that I attended the hearing and there was a vote.
Yeah,
If
we'll
that's-
vote,
if that's
we'll vote, and you'll
correctly-
know in a second what the vote is, but if the vote is that we vote in favor of passing this, we do have the right to cut it, but the courtesy is we know that you're here, we will, you know, contact you prior to doing it.
And I suppose by passing it, again, advocating for my client, is there some objection I can just note for that? If you're passing it, it means that it is, my client stands in violation, or?
Well, we still will not maintain it unless the grass, like for cutting, exceeds 6 inches. So
Yeah.
if your client maintains the property, we still would not be able to go out and just cut the grass and bill your client for it. But if it gets out of control, because we have your contact, we can call you and say, are they going to be having someone, or should we intervene? This just gives us the right to intervene in the property. It doesn't mean that at this point we will. If the grass is cut, then we will not.
So by passing it, it gives you the right to intervene and.
When necessary,
When necessary.
as laid out in the
Not
in
that
the
necessarily-
resolution.
Not that necessarily my client will be penalized in any way.
Correct.
Right.
Only if action has to be taken because these steps these guidelines are not being followed still.
We won't cut, we won't do anything, we won't charge you anything unless they don't maintain it. So I'll go back and tell your client, I came, stated the case that it was done, the town will not be out cutting it as long as you maintain the lawn.
Right.
If you don't maintain it, the town will be back out.
So you're relying on my information that it in fact will be, and therefore not
Correct.
going to penalize unless
Yeah,
Correct.
it does not, we do not fulfill.
Because otherwise we have to re-advertise for the
Yes.
public hearing, and that's a fee.
It takes a while.
No, understood.
Takes a while.
Normally, these cases that I handle are, in the city of Poughkeepsie, are handled in court, and I'm dealing with the town attorney, and I just have Vanderwater as, I thought I would be dealing with a town attorney here, not all you intimidating.
You get us all.
Here.
Yes.
It's unfair. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 against 1. Those are not
you
good
put up-
odds.
Counselor, do you have a copy of the resolution? It's on our webpage.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
It was attached.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah. They taught me that in law school the first year. 9 against 1 is not never good odds.
Yeah, and I would make a contact, you know,
Make sure I
make
give
sure
eye
she gets
contact to
the
everyone.
contact information.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Ready to read it?
We didn't read
I
it.
got to read it.
Oh,
Yeah, we didn't get that
Go
far
on,
yet.
try that though.
Yeah. That was an easy one.
That was quick.
Go for it.
Okay, all right.
Sorry about that.
Resolution number 5, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a public hearing held on August 7th, 2019 at 7 p.m. in the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, under Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Code entitled Property Maintenance, does hereby determine that the property located at 238 Innis Avenue, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, bearing grid number 6162-15-745439, owned by the Bank of America, is in violation of Town Code Chapter 159 Property Maintenance and 159 Sub 5A. And be it further resolved that the legal notice of a public hearing was posted on July 11th, 2019, published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on July 22nd, 2019, and mailed to the owner by certified mail, return receipt requested on July 16th, 2019. And be it further resolved that said determination is based on the presentation and report submitted at the public hearing by the Town of Poughkeepsie zoning administrator, and be it further resolved that said owner of 238 Innis Avenue has not complied with the order to remedy, and be it further resolved that the town shall, by its highway department or by a town contractor, cause the removal of all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, and shall cut and continue to cut the grass to a height not to exceed 6 inches, and continue maintenance thereafter if the premises continues not to be properly maintained, the cost of which shall be added to the property tax bill pursuant to tax code section 159 sub 13. So moved.
Second.
The motion is second.
Before you adopt that, I'd ask that, for the record, the documentation that's in the file from the department, which includes the notice of violation and the notice of the hearing tonight, be included in the record. Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passed 7-0. Which one are we on now? I'd like to make a motion to open public hearing for 1 Diane Court.
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody here to discuss 1 Diane Court property maintenance? No? If not, make a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a public hearing held on August 7th, 2019, at 7:00 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, under Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Code, entitled Property Maintenance, does hereby determine that the property located at 1 Diane Court, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, bearing grid number 6162-20-919-046, owned by U.S. Bank Trust, N.A., is in violation of Town Code Chapter 159, Property Maintenance 159-5A, and be it further resolved that the legal notice of the public hearing was posted on July 11, 2019, published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on July 22, 2019, and mailed to the owner by certified mail, return receipt requested on July 16, 2019. And be it further resolved that said determination is based on the presentation and report submitted at the public hearing by the Town of Poughkeepsie zoning administrator, and be it further resolved that the said owner of 1 Diane Court has not complied with the order to remedy, and be it further resolved that the town shall, by its highway department or a town contractor, cause the removal of all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, and shall cut and continue to cut the grass to a height not to exceed 6 inches, and continue maintenance thereafter if the premises continues to not be properly maintained, the cost of which shall be added to the property tax bill pursuant to Town Code 159-13. So moved.
Second. The motion is second. Any questions on that one?
Once again, I ask that the contents of the file provided to you by the department be included in the record.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0. To open up property maintenance public hearing on 147 Fulton Street.
So moved.
All in favor? Anybody like to discuss 147 Fulton Street? Come on up.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Simeone. I am a neighbor of this property. And he was right, this is very intimidating. I've never done this before.
Doing a good job.
Even though I was a teacher for 39 years. I'm just concerned about the property here. The grass has not been cut all season. Worried about my property values, animals, possible, fire hazard if somebody throws a cigarette out. It's way over the 6 inches. I didn't know what the,
Yeah, that's why we're doing this tonight.
okay, way over the 6 inches. And I'm just very concerned. And I've been in contact with Mary, the deputy from zoning, since probably the middle of May. Back and forth with her, what's going to happen, what's going on. I don't know who lives there. I don't know if they're a tenant, renting, if it's an owner, I have no idea. But I just would like something, done about it. I did see like a piece of paper on their front door at one point, but I don't know what that was about or anything. So I just, wanted to tell my concern to you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And I do have a picture.
Yeah, if this passes, once it passes, Mary's showed me pictures personally, but we'll get a hold of our landscaper the next couple of days to schedule them to get out and take care of it, and they will take care of it for the whole season.
Okay, thank you very much.
I don't know why the people that live in that house have not been taking care of this.
No, I've never had to deal with something like this before myself either. Do you want the picture?
No, I've been to the house.
You've been there, oh.
They won't open the door.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Be resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Those in favor?
Be resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie, pursuant to a public hearing held on August 7th, 2019 at 7 PM, Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Old Rock Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, under Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Code, entitled Property Maintenance, is hereby determined that the property located at 147 Fulton Street, Town of Poughkeepsie, County of Dutchess, State of New York, bearing grid number 616206, 330907, owned by Victoria Wellington and Sharon Wellington DeAndra, is in violation of Town Code 159A, Property Maintenance. And be it further resolved that the legal notice of public hearing was posted on July 11, 2019, published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on July 22, 2019, and mailed to the owner by certified mail return receipt requested July 16, 2019. And be it further resolved that the said determination is based on the presentation and a report submitted at the public hearing by the Town of Poughkeepsie zoning administrator. And be it further resolved that the owner of 147 Fulton Street has not complied with the order to remedy. And be it further resolved that town shall, by its highway department or a town contractor, cause the removal of all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, and shall cut and continue to cut the grass to a height not to exceed 12 inches and continue maintenance thereafter if the premise continues not to be properly maintained, the cost of which shall be added to the property tax bill pursuant to Code 159-A7. So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any questions on that?
Same suggestion as to the records being included, please.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0. That brings us to the end of our property maintenance public hearings. Our next public hearing is 2285 to 2291 South Road, a zoning change from Nemes Way for Dutchess Dodge. I'd like to make a motion to open that public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody here to speak on that one? Come right
Hi
up.
there.
How are you?
Hi. Sean Pettigene. I live on Merino Road that backs up to the property, so I have some questions. It's an L shape that backs up to our property on Merino Road. Can they, if they don't choose to develop it that far back, because they're Dutchess Dodge and they're on South Road, can they subdivide that property in the future? Does anybody know?
They could come in to subdivide it.
Say again?
They could come in, not that they get the approval, they do have the right to come in.
Okay.
Yeah, as of now, I think, is the engineer here? Yeah, let the engineer come, he might be able to answer me, come on up. He might be able to answer a couple of their questions.
I won't bite. You can sit next to me.
Yeah. He may be able to explain it in better terms.
Yeah.
Good evening, Bill Polvel, engineer for the applicant. Nemis Partners LLC. Yeah, we're before the board tonight for a zone change. There's 3 parcels behind Dutchess Dodge, one being immediately behind the existing dealership, and then there's 2 parcels behind that. And what we're proposing to do is change the zoning from an R20 to a highway business, which would allow, it's approximately 5 acres of the second parcel, which goes to the back where Merino Road is. And what that would do is allow Dutchess Dodge to expand their parking for their vehicle storage. With that being said, the 2 existing houses that are on the property in the back, that would remain residential. So as far as any future development, that would have to comply with the existing zoning, which we're not proposing to change back there, which is residential.
So that's where we are. We are on the L that stretches by the school. We're by Nassau School over here. And so you're not going to, but in the future, if that's subdivided, that could change, right?
Technically, it's possible that a subdivision could be presented to the town. However, given the configuration of the lot, the way it exists now, there's very minimal frontage.
Because you'd have to come off Nemis Way through another property to
Right,
get.
through other properties. A lot would have to happen.
And they'd have to have frontage on a town road.
Okay.
It's not likely, but who's to say Dutchess Dodge isn't sold someday down the road and somebody wants to come in and make an application.
Right. So, but for right now, it's not going to be developed right there by Nassau School?
Nope.
Okay. And then in the future, I mean, I guess we would come again, but this is changing the zoning. So our concern again is it's a lovely residential street without any commercial behind us. And our worry is if it were to be developed in the future by Dutchess Dodge or subdivided to somebody else, how far away from the property line? Would they put up a fence? We're just concerned about lighting, noise, drainage, if something happens.
No, all legitimate concerns. Yeah, if you've walked the property, if you've walked that Neems property, well, it goes back and sort of starts to tilt up. They're only going back about that far as of now. You know, and it's going to be screened in for the resident that's behind there now, so it's going to be pretty screened.
And the lighting was one of our concerns.
Yeah.
We were assured that the lighting would not affect the residents, that was properly screened as well.
Okay,
And we've had a concern with that property being affected, it does butt up against the back of Marino.
yeah,
Yeah, we've had concerns, and we don't want it all developed at this point.
yeah.
But the zoning change isn't affecting the part of the parcel that abuts Marino, right? It's just the front parcel.
The parking would be in front of the driveway.
Right. So the L of Neems Way, it's inside the L rather than on the other side of it.
And
which is
actually,
where
the
Marino
property falls off towards Dutchess Dodge from that driveway, so this parking area would be actually much lower than the property
blocked,
above it. So
yeah.
it will be screened. I've gone back there, and I haven't been able to look to where we're proposing this. And we're not proposing to change the zone. I believe it's about 500 feet of residential land that's going to remain, including the two homes that are there now.
And that's in writing?
Well, that's, yeah, it's part of the application,
Okay,
correct.
okay. Do you want to go on?
And they will be in front of the planning board if you want to, come and watch the process go through the planning board. You can voice your opinion, as we have with the lighting and amongst other things.
Okay.
Then you get a chance in that timeframe to really discuss how it's being built.
Yeah, I just got super concerned when we saw the Hampton Inn go in for those poor folks over there that are right behind the Hampton Inn. It's like, oh my gosh.
Tom Mosier, I live at 22 Marino. My big concern is there's two houses, a barn, and a pig pen still on that piece of property. The pig pen's been falling down for years. The barn looks like it's falling down, and the two houses look like they should be condemned. What's gonna happen with them?
The intention is to redevelop those two houses.
I mean, knock them down and rebuild them, because that's about all you can do with them.
Well, that's not confirmed for sure, whether they need to be knocked down or just major renovations.
What about the pig pen on my property line?
I'm not aware of that.
That's way in the back of the property.
Right. I haven't seen that, so I'm not aware of it.
It's tall grass, that's why you haven't seen it. How close to the property line can they build?
They're hundreds of feet away right now.
Yeah, what we're proposing to do is we're actually proposing.
I understand what you're proposing to do. I
I'm gonna,
want to know what's going to happen down the line. After we go through all this, you get all these property changes. Now Dutchess Dodge decides, let's go to Parts Building and build a warehouse there. How close to the property line can they come?
Well, if this application only it gives
I
the
understand what the
500 buffer, that's
application
all
is.
they're authorized to
understand
do,
that.
unless they come back for more authorization in the
This is what I'm
future.
asking.
Yeah,
And
they
then
would-
you would be notified again.
Yeah,
Right.
they would have to come
I
back
understand
again.
that.
But that would
How
be-
close to the property line can they come?
Not to speak out of turn, but I feel as though that would be much less likely to proceed through here because the zoning change that they're suggesting to the business highway, abuts more business highway, doesn't touch a lot of
So they're not changing the
residences.
zoning on those
They're not
residents.
changing the zoning that abuts your property.
It allows that buffer
the road-
property.
The
100
road
feet.
is going to be, the road that goes back there is going to be the buffer.
Correct, that's exactly right.
Right.
And that's
So
going to remain
nothing's changing on the other side of it, which is
residential.
probably why he's not aware of the pig pen, because if it's close to your property, it's probably not involved in their plans.
I just want to say that we're before the planning board with a lot line realignment. So the land area that we're requesting the zone change on, that land area is going to be attached to the Dutchess Dodge lot.
Right.
So that the lots behind it where the two homes are, they're going to remain residential lots, standalone lots that are not going to be part of any commercial development.
Which are acting as a buffer between you guys and
Correct.
the residents. Right.
Correct.
So there's those two big lots are not being touched at
My
all.
concern is the future. I know what he's talking about. I've been back there, I've seen
Well,
what
in the
they're
future,
doing.
they would have to come back and plead their case, and then the residents would plead theirs, and, again, as I said, it would be much more difficult to get a business zoning change when you are abutting a ton of residential property.
It doesn't give them the right now to go back there.
They could do it, because look at.
They could
Hotel
apply
on
for
Nine
it,
And
but
and the poor house is there.
Right.
They're right there.
Yeah, I don't know how that was zoned originally, if that was a commercial or not, that I don't know. With this piece here, those houses now are staying residential.
Yep.
They would have to totally come back. They can't come in 6 months and say, we want to just go back there and put a building on a lot. They don't have the right to do that.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask another question?
Feel free.
Sorry.
Sean, what's your
So-
last name?
Oh, Petagine. Petagine. Thanks. So if it's going to stay residential, if those houses can't be renovated and they're torn down, could new housing be put in the footprint? Or could the housing be bigger? Or would it have to be the same
Well, it
footprint?
would have to adhere
have
to
to
the R20 zoning that exists now which is the zoning for the whole neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have to come
So it
back.
wouldn't be something
And
monstrous.
if they
Can't put
wanted
up
that
a
zone
apartment
changed,
complex.
No,
this
no,
would all
that would
happen
be
again. That would
others-
be another zone change.
Okay.
another
Right.
zone.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know there's the apartment complex on Anthony.
Has its own separate zoning there.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem.
The R20 is a single-family zone.
Right.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
No further questions.
Anybody else? If not, a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Be it enacted, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie held a duly noticed public hearing on August 7th, 2019 at 7 PM at the town of Poughkeepsie Town Hall, 1 Over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, to amend the town code, which amendment proposes to change the zoning designation of a 5.2 acre portion of 2285 to 2291 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, tax parcel number 134689-159-01 120956, and the easterly portion of tax parcel number 134689-6159-01-065967, as outlined in the attached amendment from R20 district to Business Highway BH district. And be it further enacted that the June 20th, 2019, the Planning Board, as the designated lead agency under SECR, issued a negative declaration and conveyed a positive recommendation to the Town Board in regard to the proposed zoning amendment. And be it further enacted that a written recommendation dated April 11th, 2019 was received from the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development, and that said recommendation stated that the adoption of the herein zoning amendment is a matter of local concern. And be it further enacted that the town clerk notified the clerks of surrounding municipalities of the public hearing pursuant to GML 239-NN, as well as made referrals per town code section 210-155. And be it further enacted that the legal notice of public hearing was posted on July 16th, 2019, and published in the Poughkeepsie Journal on July 22nd, 2019. And be it further enacted that local law shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second.
A motion second. Any more questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. You asked the owner of Dutchess Dodge to reach out to those neighbors in the back there?
Yep.
To let them know what his actual plans are.
Okay.
Thanks. Brings us to the end of the public hearing. For items on the agenda tonight, first one's retirement of Ronald Spiro, Chief of Police, retirement of Police Officer Michael Latiro, retired Detective Thomas Keith, retired Police Officer Raymond Marino, retired of K-9 Officer Czar, resignation of Police Assistant Jennifer Leiden, Town Code Amendment 194-44, which set a date for a public hearing, resignation of Nicholas Cesare, Deputy Building Inspector, appoint Anthony Stein as Deputy Building Inspector. Conklin Street Block Party will be held on August 31st. Orchard Park Block Party will be held on August 10th, rain date of August 11th. Round Hill Block Party will be held on September 1st, rain date September 7th. Staples Block Party will be held on August 17th and 18th. Arlington Street Fair to be held on September 21st. Property Maintenance, Chapter 159, 34 Brooklyn Farms Road. Property maintenance, chapter 159, 13 James Street. Property maintenance, chapter 159, 49 DeRocher Place. Property maintenance, chapter 159, 16 LaGrange Avenue. Adopt the brace proportions from the assessor's office, accept the minutes for 2019. Following claim refer legal, Tulare versus the town. And 2 SCs, SC1, Eastdale Route 44, work to be done. SC2, Vassar College Inn Planning Board, lead agency. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any comment on any item on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Would anybody like to discuss any item on the agenda? Mr. Armstrong?
Couple of quick comments. The Brooklyn Farms Road maintenance. I talked about this, I think, once before. I don't know if you know that the son still at times is in that house. I don't know what's going on over there. I know he doesn't do any of the maintenance. We do it. There's a couple of junk cars in the driveway. I don't know if they run or not. I'm not sure if you even know that the boy lives there, because I see him walking down the road periodically. So that's that. Vassar College property, where they're going to put the inn. I understand they got to comply with all the rules and regulations and everything. Is this a tax exempt part of their property also?
We were told no.
No.
They would have to pay taxes if
Yes,
they build that
correct.
over
Yes.
by the,
Correct, it's a hotel.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
They're not going to get a pilot, are they?
They haven't asked. They haven't asked. Anybody else like to discuss any item that's on the agenda? If not, I'd like to make a motion to resume the rules. All those in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Actually, do we have somebody who wants to speak, or?
Come on up, I'm sorry.
Yeah, a little bit too
Sorry
quick.
I missed you. Make a motion to suspend the rules again?
So moved?
All in favor?
Aye.
My name is Jose Seco. I am the chairman of the board of the Alton Fire District. And is this Vassar College going to be under a special program, pilot, or anything like that?
They have not
Or
come in.
it's straightforward?
They have not come in for anything at this time.
Okay, so it's not going to be any special consideration?
As of this time, no. They have not even asked, so.
Yeah, okay. Because we do have that Raymond Avenue
Yeah.
there, which is a great impact to the fire district, especially how they're proposing to pay us little taxes just above, $7,000.
I don't believe that's correct.
Okay?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any final
Yeah, I
numbers. They've talked and I haven't seen
Well,
anything final.
pilot,
That
but-
was one figure that I have seen.
Jose, you're chairman now, correctly? Correct? You're chairman all the time?
I am the chairman of the Alton Fire District Board.
Why don't you come in and we'll go over the whole project now that you're the newly elected chairman?
Yes.
We'll go over that project with you and make sure you're right on board of what's going on.
Perfect. I will call you and set up an appointment.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Make a motion to resume the rules again.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Ronald J. Spiro Jr., Police Chief of Town of Poughkeepsie, effective August 30th, 2019. So moved.
Second.
A motion and second? All of those in favor?
Well,
Aye.
okay, do you not any comments?
We'll take comments.
Okay.
Not even here to hear our nice.
I know. But I just wanted to say, when you've done this as long as I have, and there's two others that have been on this board longer than I have, so I'm not by any means the oldest. You can look back and see some of the good decisions you made, and this was one of the really good decisions. Chief Spiro has done a good job providing leadership for the department, keep him in budget, and he's going to be missed.
No, I think he's done a great job. They've brought the department up to all the standards I think our residents expect. They're great, they have a great department. I mean, I think we're going in the right direction. Hopefully, we stay in that direction with the group that's there.
I think he's one of the best chiefs that I've known, and I know quite a few, so I'm putting him pretty high up there. He's always been progressive. He's always been in front of the problem. All of the things that could cause a liability question for a department, he's been in front of. And you can't ask for better. Although we have somebody who's going to do just as good.
As you said, Bill, he's always been a people's chief, not confrontational. He'd sit down and discuss anything with anybody. We've seen that happen right here at the town board over the years.
Yeah.
I said we're all going to vote no? Oh.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, Chief, on your retirement, and keep up the good work. Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Michael Latiro, Police Officer with Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department, effective April 30th, 2019.
August.
August 30th.
August.
Oh, August 30th, 2019.
Prorating is
What did I say?
April.
Oh, always going already. All right.
Yeah.
August 30th, 2019.
Surprise.
So moved.
Second.
The second. Any questions, comments on this one?
Well, I've been privileged to work with everybody that's retiring.
Yeah.
Michael and I go way back. He's always helped me when I needed something going on in the fourth ward, as is everybody in the police department. So, but Michael was always a phone call away. I could even call him on his personal phone if I couldn't reach him. So I'm gonna miss him. But great guy, and I was able to spend a little bit of time with him a couple weeks ago before he went to his new home.
And I agree, Mike, with all these officers that are retiring, you look at the staff that's above them. If they didn't have the good staff above them, if they grew into the department, we wouldn't have the great department that we have. And I think some of these other officers definitely show the skill set they've been taught over the years moving forward. I'd like to wish them enjoyable retirement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Officer Otero, enjoy your retirement.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Thomas Keith, Detective with the Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department, effective August 30th, 2019. So move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any comments on this one?
Gonna lose another one. Again, like I said, he's done a fine job. I know I dealt with him for a while there. I know he coached his daughter there. That goes far back in baseball and stuff, so.
No. Another one that definitely was all about the public, and he interfaced with the public very well. Yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Enjoy your retirement.
Resolution 12, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of Raymond Marino, Police Officer with the Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department, effective August 15th, 2019. So moved.
Second.
Get a motion and a second. Any comments on this one?
Me and Ray went to high school together, so I know I must be getting close to retirement age myself. But I wish him well. He's going to be missed. Strong force on the in the squads he's always been in. So.
And he was very well as a K-9 officer. I mean, the mindset he had working with the youth and so on, and out there in the field, besides his police work, just interfacing with the public was fantastic. I mean, and being a K-9 so many years, and he actually had 2 K-9s at one time there, and one of them only had 3 legs, but he definitely was all about the force and making sure things are done. I wish him and his partner, who's next on our list, is a great retirement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
That's me.
Must be you.
Be resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the retirement of K-9 Officer Czar, effective August 14th, 2019. And be it further resolved that the supervisor hereby authorized to execute all papers necessary and proper to effectuate the transfer of ownership of K-9 Officer Czar to Police Officer Raymond Marino pursuant to the collective bargaining agreement involving the retirement of Police K-9, a copy of which is attached. So moved.
Second.
Good motion second. Any comments on this one?
I think it's appropriate that the K-9 officer and the K-9 retire at the same time. And this was a very good team.
Yeah, they were definitely very good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 14, be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the resignation of Jennifer Lyden, Police Assistant with the Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department, effective August 9th, 2019. So moved.
Get a motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
There was
Motion
second?
passes.
There was no second. Someone.
Second.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
I think we're all there.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby set the fourth day of September 2019 at 7 p.m. at Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 over Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider amendments to the Town Code, Chapter 195, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, specifically 195-44, Schedule 9, Stop Intersections, with the language to be added, underlined, and language to be stricken as follows. Delete 195-44, Section 9, Stop Intersections, stop sign on Kingwood Drive, direction travel west at intersection Hoffman Road. Add to 195-44, Schedule 9, Stop Intersections, stop sign at Kingwood Drive, direction travel west at intersection Kingwood Park. Be further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does determine the traffic control change is a type 2 action requiring no environmental review, and be further resolved said local law, if adopted, shall become effective immediately upon filing with the Secretary of State. So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
I have a question about this. Is this just a like, did the name of the street change? What is this about? I don't know what Hoffman Road is. It doesn't touch
Where
Kingwood
is
Drive.
Hoffman Road?
Doesn't exist in town, apparently.
That's-
It was a clerical issue.
Okay.
Okay.
We can name it.
There's not currently a stop sign where we're adding one, right? This is just a. There is?
Yes.
It's just the wrong street.
Just the wrong street.
Oh, it's just okay. Never mind.
Clerical.
Very good. Okay, that's why I was confused. Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby accept with regret the resignation of Nicholas Cesari as Deputy Building Inspector with the Building Department effective July 22nd, 2019.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Anthony Steen to the position of full-time Deputy Building Inspector with the Town Building Department, grade 10, step 1, at the salary of $30.09 per hour, effective Monday, August 26, 2019, which appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 8 nor more than 26 weeks per civil service law. And be it further resolved, the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this appointment. So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Anthony, welcome aboard. Would you like to come up and introduce yourself to the board? This is Anthony, our new building inspector, will be taking over for Lenny, who retired.
Congratulations.
Nice to meet you.
Stiff. Good luck. Mr. Carlos.
There. 18.
On 18, right? Mm-hmm. Resolution 18, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application submitted by Conklin Street Neighborhood Association to hold a block party on Conklin Street in New Hamburg between Main Street and Lawson Street on August 31st, 2019, from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m., and does hereby authorize the Town of Poughkeepsie Traffic Division to close said street for allowing access for emergency vehicles from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive the open container law in the event alcoholic beverages are served. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application submitted by Orchard Park Block Association to hold a block party on Orchard Park between 16, 19, 23, 20, and 24 Orchard Park on August 10th, 2019, with a rain date of August 11th, 2019, from 1 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m., and does hereby authorize the Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department Traffic Division to close said street, but allowing access for emergency vehicles from 1 o'clock p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m., and be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive the open container law in the event that alcoholic beverages should be served. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby approve the application submitted by Stephen Farrell to hold a block party on Round Hill Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, from 39 Round Hill Road to 45 Round Hill Road on September 1st, 2019, with a rain date of September 7th, 2019, from 2 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. It is hereby authorized the Town of Poughkeepsie Police Department Traffic Division to close said street, but allowing access for emergency vehicles from 2 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Be it further resolved, the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby waive the open container law in the event alcoholic beverages are to be served. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion second. Any questions on this one?
No, I'm just suddenly envious that I don't live in a neighborhood that holds block parties. So much fun happening in the town.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie has heretofore received an application from Reddle Real Estate LLC on behalf of Staples for a block party event to be held on August 17th, 2019 from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and August 18th, 2019 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Staples located at 1849 South Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. And whereas the presence of food vendors and craft vendors is a vital part of a successful event, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does not include the vendors of food and or goods participating in this block party event as peddlers and hawkers, and these vendors are thereby exempt from the provisions of Chapter 151 of the Town Code. Be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application as submitted for said events to be held on August 17th, 2019 and August 18th, 2019, pending receipt of a certificate of liability insurance naming the Town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured. So moved.
Second?
We have a motion second. Any question on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. And Jessica, I think you can go to that one.
Okay, great.
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie authorizes the annual Arlington Street Fair on Saturday, September 21st, 2019, and whereas the presence of informational displays, food vendors, handicraft artisans, and not-for-profit organizations is a vital part of a successful street fair, now therefore be resolved the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does not include the vendors of food and merchandise participating in the Arlington Street Fair as peddlers and hawkers, and these vendors are thereby exempt from the provisions of Chapter 151 of the Town Code, and be further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive the provisions of the noise ordinance in regard to the Arlington Street Fair between the hours of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on September 21st, 2019, and be further resolved that the exemption shall apply only to the street fair celebration on September 21st, 2019. And be further resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby waive all permit fees relating to the Arlington Street Fair on September 21st, 2019, pursuant to the request from the Arlington Business Improvement District dated July 22nd, 2019, a copy of which is attached. And be further resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the closing of Raven Avenue from the eastbound arterial to College View and Fulton Avenue intersections from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for the Arlington Street Fair on Saturday, September 21st, 2019. So moved.
Second. Got a motion second. Any questions or comments on this?
Yeah, actually, it's filling up very nicely. Bob, are all the spaces taken now, or do you still have a few left? There's 7. So we only have 7 spots left in the street fair, and hoping we have a really nice day.
It's always a beautiful event.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Good luck, Bob, and everybody in Arlington. Whereas an order of remedy, a copy of which is attached here too, has been issued for property located at 34 Brooklyn Farms Road, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159A, Mole of Occupied Properties of the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code, and whereas said order of remedy has not been complied with, now therefore be it resolved, Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby set the 4th day of September 2019, 7 p.m., Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Over Rocker, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider recommendation from the zoning administrator to the town or its contractor to remove, as needed, continue to remove all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, cut grass to a height not to exceed 12 inches, and maintain throughout the growing season all at the above property, so it will not become overgrown and unsightly all at the above property, the cost of which shall constitute a lien and charge on the above real property until paid, satisfied, or discharged, and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So moved.
Second.
Can we make a motion to change that to 6 inches? It's 6
Yeah,
inches
I
on every other one.
No.
It might be a
Said 2.
print.
There's certain ones that are 6.
Oh, Oh, really?
Yeah,
12?
this is an occupied property.
Oh,
For
got
the
it, got
unoccupied,
it.
Right.
Couple.
Okay, I
guess
didn't realize.
I saw 6 and 12.
Right, and then I looked at the next one and saw it was 6, so I figured it was a mistake, okay.
No, it's not a mistake.
There's one more.
And the zoning administrator has, she was out there and it was cut, but she recommends that we move forward because it's definitely, they're not following, any orders. She stopped in today, so that one has been cut, but she goes, still please move forward.
Gotcha.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Whereas order to remedy, copies of which are attached hereto have been issued for property located at 13 James Street, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code, and whereas said orders to remedy have not been complied with, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby set the 4th day of September 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider a recommendation from the zone administrator that the town or its contractor remove and as needed continue to remove all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, cut grass to a height not to exceed 6 inches, and maintain throughout the growing season all of the above property, so it will not become overgrown and unsightly, all at the above property, the cost of which work shall constitute a lien and charge on the above real property until paid, satisfied, or discharged, and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So move.
Second.
The motion is second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 25. Whereas orders to remedy, copies of which are attached hereto, have been issued to the property located at 49 DeRocher Terrace, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159 of the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code, and whereas said orders have not been complied with, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby set the 4th day of September 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider a recommendation from the zoning administrator that the town or its contractor remove as needed and continue to remove all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, cut grass to a height not to exceed 6 inches, and maintain throughout the growing season all at the above property, so it may not become overgrown and unsightly, all at the above property, the cost of which work shall constitute a lien and charge on the above real property until paid, satisfied, or discharged, and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Whereas in order to remedy, a copy of which is attached hereto has been issued for property located at 16 LaGrange Avenue, Town of Poughkeepsie, State of New York, pursuant to Chapter 159A, Mowing of Occupied Properties of the Town of Poughkeepsie Town Code, and whereas the order to remedy has not been complied with, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby set the 4th day of September 2019 at 7:00 p.m. at the Town Hall, Town of Poughkeepsie, 1 Rocker Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, as and for the time, date, and place of a public hearing to consider a recommendation from zoning administrator that the town or its contractor remove as needed, continue to remove all garden waste, fallen tree limbs, cut grass to a height not to exceed 12 inches, and maintain throughout the growing season, all at the above property, so it will not become overgrown and unsightly. All at the above property, the cost of which work shall constitute a lien and charge on the above real property until paid, satisfied, or discharged, and shall be collected in the same manner as other town charges. So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any question on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Okay, be resolved, Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby adopt and certify the current base proportions as follows. Town, Homestead, 51.85718, non-homestead, 48.14282. Town Outside Village, Homestead, 49.44553, non-homestead, 50.55447. Constellated Light, Homestead, 52.96654, non-homestead, 47.03346. Spackengill School, Homestead, 48.50885, non-homestead, 51.49115. Arlington School, Homestead, 62.80 578, non-homestead 37.19422, Wappinger School, homestead 59.87587, non-homestead 40.12413. And be it further resolved that the Town Board, Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby adopting, certified the adjusted base proportions as follows. Town, homestead 51.92002, non-homestead 48.07998. Town outside village, homestead 49.50778, non-homestead 50.49222. Consolidated light, homestead 51.97469, non-homestead 48.02531. Spackenkill School, homestead 48.16177, non-homestead 51.83823. Arlington School, homestead 63.02949, non-homestead 36.97051. And Wappinger School, homestead 61.13426, and non-homestead 38.86574. So moved.
Second.
Been motion second. Any questions on these?
So all of these numbers are used in some way having to do with the assessment of people's property values?
Correct.
Okay.
It's
just a lot of numbers going by, but it all is
The
in the
school
calculation.
district that Jennifer actually does those numbers because it's totally inside the town. So all the other taxes for the other school districts are done by the school themselves.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Resolution 28, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept the minutes for the following 2019 Town Board meetings, to wit, June 5th, 2019, regular Town Board meeting, June 19th, 2019, regular Town Board meeting, July 10th, 2019, Committee of the Whole and regular Town Board meeting, and July 17th, 2019, regular Town Board meeting. So moved.
Second.
Your motion second. Any question on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Okay, Resolution 9 is a notice of claim. 29. Okay, on to Resolution 30. Be resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby grant special consent to the following items to wit. Authorize Eastdale Route 44 work. Consent Vassar College Inn Planning Board lead agency. And be further resolved that upon objection of any member of the town board, any item may be removed from the list and voted on separately. So moved.
Second.
Got a motion second. Any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0. SC1, whereas the necessary utility road crossings and public road drainage improvements for the Eastdale project on Route 44 will generate noise and require a temporary disruption of traffic patterns. And whereas the town board has considered three options: a daytime shutdown Route 44, which requires a complicated detour system and would impact Eastdale neighbors, town residents, traveling public, and emergency vehicles. 2, having one lane of traffic on Route 44, which given the daytime traffic volume would cause excessive and unsafe traffic backups. Or 3, allowing night work during the New York State DOT permitted hours of 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. with one lane of traffic open at night and 2 lanes open during the day. Now therefore be resolved that this interpretation of the town's noise laws, which involves work, which includes the provision of public road drainage improvements, and extension of utility services to a previously secret and approved subdivision, is a Type 2 action 6 NYCRR 617C 22 and 37, requiring no environmental review. And be it further resolved, the town board determines that the night work option will best protect the general health, safety, and welfare of Eastdale neighbors, town residents, and traveling public, and shall be treated as exempt noise under Town Code 139-6I, provided the work shall be completed within 4 consecutive days, 96 hours. The New York State DOT approved advance public notice is given. So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Anybody got any questions on this? Okay, Jesse, you want to explain this
Yeah,
further?
sure. So there was a lot of discussion about the best way to go about doing some road work that was going to require lane closings. And myself, Jay, the developer, and the Department of Traffic all got to sit down together and wanted to figure out the most effective, quickest way to do this that would have the least amount of impact. And we thought waiving our noise ordinance so that it could happen at night would allow them to work quickly and would have the least amount of impact. We all know 44 gets really quick during the day. We've tried partial lane closings, and it didn't work out well. So this is what we decided would be the best. Signage will be up for 7 days leading up to the work, so there'll be a good amount of time that people will know if they want to take, alternate routes if they travel at night. And the developer is also committed to talking to and in some way taking care of the neighbors surrounding that might be affected by the noise itself, which that will be taking place tomorrow. He'll personally be knocking on their doors and offering to put them up if they choose to not stay home. So
I just had a question. I got 2 different complaints about potholes, and I don't drive out that way, so I don't know myself.
I got that call and it'll be addressed tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I was
Yep.
just
You forward it through and I got it now. I have a call.
got 2 different calls
Yep.
today. So.
Yeah, and as Jessica said, we did have a 1-lane closure one day, and the traffic was horrendous. And being the fact that that is a east-west corridor to everything in the eastern end of the county for ambulances and so forth, getting to the hospital, after a long discussion through the DOT to make sure we thought this was the best pattern. This wasn't lightly discussed. It was a heavy discussion to make sure we could do it the best way for everybody there, to get them in and get them out and get this closed. And I think this is going to be the quickest way to get it done and get it moving forward so we can get this project going and get things right in the right direction where we need. Jessica was on board. We met multiple times, with the developer and with New York State DOT to make sure everything's covered. And as long as they have all their paperwork in with the DOT, they'll be able to go forward with the project next week. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby consent to the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board acting as seeker lead agency. Notice of intent paperwork can be found in the Town Clerk's office for the project known as Vassar College Inn and Institute, 157 through 171 College Avenue, plus parts of 71 through 89 Raymond Avenue and 334 Hooker Avenue, Poughkeepsie, New York, tax grid number 6161-12-795630. Parts of 6161-04850460 and 740465. So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions on that one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. We've come to the end of our agenda. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any comment at all.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Armstrong.
On the light side, are you going to go on TV again for your block party in Arlington?
I hope so. I hope so.
I caught you the last time.
It's a very good event, and we will
Yeah, no, it
publicize
is.
last
I'm
year's
sure.
prior.
I would like to agree with the Arlington, well, no, forget that. That's jumping my gun. As a private taxpayer in the town of Poughkeepsie, I object to the pilot project, if I'm correct, with a private organization. It is true, and I'm talking about the Raymond Avenue School project. And it is true that it would create jobs, it would put that property back on the tax rolls. I also would be concerned as to whether it would affect some of the mom and pop shops by the size of this project and some of the stores that they're going to put in there. But the biggest part is the pilot program, if that is still being discussed or talked. I'm totally against these pilot programs. Private organization, and they're asking the taxpayers to pick up some of the costs of the taxes that they would not pay for the next 10 or 20 years, who knows how long. I totally object to these things and when they've happened before. My taxes are going up for the town, my taxes are going up for the school, my taxes are going up for the fire tax. And we got to pick up the taxes that these organizations don't want to pay so they can put a project in. They've got banks, they got investors to get their money from. Why does the average taxpayer in this area, who will probably never use or be part of that or get anything out of it, have to back that stuff up? With fire taxes, if the money's lost out of their budget that they got to give back or whatever, we got to make up the difference. Why? Let them get their money from their investors and do the projects. They're good projects. I'm not against them, but, and that's only half of what I wanted to say. I've got another subject that I'd like to discuss or talk about. I hope I'm not out of order. But in Tuesday's paper, there was an article, a scathing article, I would say, about the Office of the Aging. I don't know how many may have read it in the paper. This was a ridiculous audit for an outfit that's been going on for how long, and for the money that the head of that organization is being paid. And he's open. Reminds me of when I first got on the fire board, commissioner of the fire board of Arlington, where things weren't being tracked. Nobody was knowing where the money was coming from or where the money was going. And what I saw in this article, I'm saying, who the heck is running this organization? Who is checking? Who knows how much money may have disappeared because somebody's not watching the books, it looks like, or controlling who's doing what? I think this is a disgrace. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Legacy.
Bob Legacy, Director of the Arlington Business Improvement District. I know people discuss the pilot project about the Arthur May School, but the one thing it is going to bring is needed apartments. The apartment shortage in Dutchess County is like 1 or 2%. Where I'm living, the rent went up $100 a month because there's a waiting list, 70, 80 people. So if we're going to have people move into Dutchess County, and they're going to be upscale apartments, and it'll put people into the Arlington district, because part of the plan, if you look at it, is for people to use public transportation, go back and forth to the train station. Anybody we can put on the streets of Arlington to spend money is sales tax. You know, and right now the school is falling apart. If you look out, the windows are all broken out. So anything that can put property back on the tax roll is a benefit to this community. And I think we have to look at success doesn't come out sometimes without some pain for everybody, but it's serving a need in the town of Poughkeepsie, especially for the shortage of really good apartments. Eastdale will be rented out before you know it. The apartments on Raymond, they'll be rented out before you know it. And I just think the project in whole is good because it also adds tax value to the Arlington Business Improvement District, which is doing well. It's thriving. We have to do a parking study because our restaurants are so full on Saturday and Friday and weekdays. There is no parking in Arlington. And that's a good problem to have. Success brings problems, but we have a parking study that'll be done by Vassar College for us with using their geography classes, and they'll come back with recommendations. How do we get more parking without, destroying what we have, the green spaces and whatever? The second part for the street fair, I want to thank you for passing it. It's a great event. It attracts thousands of people every year. And this year, we've really reached out to the local Hispanic community, since we have most of the new businesses are Hispanic opening, to have booths and to give out information on the organizations of what they're doing in Dutchess County, And let's be honest, if you look in the city and town, many of our new entrepreneurs are Hispanics, and they're making a great addition to our community and should be welcomed, and make them realize that a community of diversity is a community of strength. And the worst part is, starting soon, Raymond Avenue will be tore up at night from 9 o'clock to 7 in the morning as we replace the gas lines. But they have promised, is it true, Jay, that they will make sure every hole is filled for the street fair?
That's what they told us, Bob. We will hold them to it.
And, well, I don't know. I don't have that power, but you do.
We'll hold them to it.
Do you?
We try.
Yeah.
Try. No, Bob, good luck. I think it's a great community event. As you said, all our not-for-profits are usually out there, and it's a great event, and Arlington Business District does a phenomenal job putting it all together. Anybody else? Make a motion to resume the rules?
So moved.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Just one small announcement. Dutchess County came out with the shared service grants this year. We received one grant in conjunction with the town of Wappingers and the village of Wappingers for $100,000 for work at Tri-Municipal Sewer District. Mike Welty received a $25,000 grant to do some zoning stuff with Patient Land Use University, and we received a $100,000 grant to do a study on a joint venture with Dutchess County Water Wastewater and Joint Water Board and Pleasant Valley on possible another water storage tank, as opposed to all three of us getting our own tank. So want to thank the county, and if anybody has looked at the list that the county offered up, what all the grants were, these are 3 that we received, but there's another 3 or 4, CIT training, the Drug Task Force, and a couple other ones that we're all involved in through other agencies. These 3 came directly to our office, we were the sponsors of these, but we are involved in multiple other ones through the county, so I think this overall has saved us a lot of money. The Drug Task Force is one of the big ones. They now pay us for the officer that's on the Drug Task Force for his time that's there, that for the last 20 so years that the Drug Task Force was in effect, each town was responsible for their own. So the mayor of Beacon and myself got together and we applied for the first grant that year and we pushed them to do it, and they all understood. And even the other towns that didn't have police forces understood that we were the one that were paying the freight, and they realized that it should be truly shared service, and we've gone forward with that. And some of the shared services that we do have, that we put in place, whether it was assault packs, among other things, they've already sent to the state. We're supposed to get some of the money back from our savings, so wait to see what percentage of a dollar bill we actually get back. So some of them are pretty big numbers, so even a 50% shake would be a nice piece. We just got a notification back from Troy and Banks today. They did this study of Spectrum Time Water to do an audit on their accounts to see how much we got back. It was the same as a street light audit we did a few years back. And as of now, for the last 5 years, we've been overcharged $83,000. So we will be billing Spectrum Time Water for that, and it's a 50-50 split with Troy and Banks. So this goes to show you that the town, the comptroller's office is working in the best interest of the residents. So I want to thank everybody here that's been helping us get these projects off the ground.
Can I just say too that Franco's team, he gave me 3 guys yesterday morning to help me move some boxes to be burned at the burn plant. It was Rick, Ryan, and Tim, and they were wonderful, and I really enjoyed working with them, and I really appreciated all their help. They were great.
No, it shows the joint effort and the fact that the highway department came up with the dumpster
The
multiple
dumpster,
times.
yeah.
And
And Sean helped from downstairs, and now he's working on getting some stuff too, so.
And Felicia, thanks for-
Slowly but surely, we're making some good
going back and empty shelf after shelf.
Another couple years and we'll be all done.
We're getting there.
No, it looks great. So I appreciated all their help.
Anybody got anything else? Now to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good night. Thank you.